Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Exotic Wine Travel. I'm your host, Matthew Horkey. So, Shireen and I actually are at the small winery called Bruśani Winery, and I'm with Orce, right here. Orce. I have a hard time pronouncing some of the Macedonian pronunciation, but just a quick introduction to our time here in Macedonia. Macedonia, the wineries are big. When they talk about small wineries, they're talking about, oh yeah, we produce 100,000 bottles a year. We're a small winery. That's not small, I don't think, by my definition. Bruśani is truly a small boutique winery, has a lot of heart and soul. And Orce, if I pronounce it, I'm trying to pronounce it as good as possible. He spent some time. We've been tasting a lot of wines from his barrel samples. All his wines have been excellent. He was actually the first red wine that we had here in Macedonia, because we went out to a restaurant and we bought a bottle of his wine, and then we wanted to meet him. So we're at the end of our Macedonian trip, and here I am. So thank you for being on the show. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Can you tell me about the history behind your winery, the story? I've found it fascinating.
Well, it goes back like 3 generations, because first of all, the first Tanušina it's an indigenous variety. I don't know, for people that don't know. It's planted in 1938 by my granddad, and since then it started this journey which usually it's actually tied up because in a family it was not no commercial sites, nothing else. Me as a third generation, I decided a few years ago that it should be shown to the outside, to the people, the marketing to the world, because I felt that there's a huge potential. I grew up with the wine and grew up with the vineyards. Although I'm something else in my profession and I'm an engineer, but my vocation is a winemaker, and I've been doing it since I know about myself more than I know about my programming. So, and then somehow, with my dad, I decided that it's about time to start doing it. And we started with Vranec 2010, and it was unfiltered, and it had a good reaction. Actually, it had perfect reactions. I was amazed by people that how enjoyed it. And somehow very soon we started with Stanušina, which is both of them are kind of indigenous varieties, but Stanušina is a really indigenous variety, and you cannot find it anywhere outside Macedonia, although we are a very small country. While Vranec is more kind of a regional variety, and you can find it elsewhere, like Serbia, like Croatia. And now we are in a kind of a process of maybe trying to go bigger, but with small steps.
How many bottles do you produce a year? You have to.
It all depends. It all depends because when we put wine in a barrel, it's you ask me how many months or years you keep it. I'm always telling you as much as it wants. We are not the commercial kind of a winery, so we are allowing the wine to grow and to tell the story and to give us the notes when it should be bottled. So sometimes we don't bottle at all. Sometimes we bottle a few thousand liters per year. So it all depends of a year, of a yield. The terroir itself, I told you 2014 we didn't even do harvest. We decided, okay, then don't bother. We are aiming at a high quality, and although we are very small, we are kind of trying to get as much as possible.
Yeah, and I'm really impressed with your philosophy and everything. Let's talk about some of your wines. Stanušina. This is a Stanušina from 2013. Now, this is an indigenous variety. Don't worry, I'll put it up on the video. There are not very many wineries in Macedonia making this ancient indigenous grape. Can you talk about this?
Well, it's really an ancient because I don't know how much people know about the history, but here has been for 5 centuries were Ottomans, and while there were here they were not allowed to produce wine, and this Stanušina is indigenous, and it's been for a while here. While means for lots of centuries, and it's somehow in the monasteries it survived, and this year, 38, my granddad decided to plant these vineyards. Why? Because it's an uphill, like 400, 500 meters. It's all the way, all around it's surrounded by hills. Nothing flat, and frosts might come up in the winter times. And these varieties is quite resistant to the frost, and they're quite resistant as it people might be resistant for centuries. Trying to do some wines, for themselves. A few years ago, we decided because not many people even know about Stanušina. And I'm amazed why people don't know about it, because almost everybody knows about Vranec, which is more or less a regional variety. But Stanušina is indigenous, and in this region where I come from, where my parents came from actually, they know, yes, but all around the Macedonia, the country, more or less. And I decided that it's about time to show up that this is a really good potential type of wine. And it's a type of wine that, as I say, it's a kind of a Pinot Noir, Macedonian Pinot Noir, It's a light, but it stays in the mouth. It's quite full-bodied, but it's a kind of a elegant, it goes well, it's nicely smooth. So I think it has a huge potential. We tried for 2013, since 2013, and I think in the future years we might bring some more, and even better quality than even this. I think is quite good.
I still think so too. I think it for you out there that are familiar with exotic wines. For me, it's kind of a cross between Pinot Noir, Nerello, Muscalesi, and Sicily and Etna. It's really has a lot of potential, I think. We're going to talk about his Vranec here. I talked about in previous videos, Macedonia has, I think 90% of the world's Vranec is here in Macedonia. This is his Bruśani Winery, Vranec Barik, from 2011. He's also he also has in barrels now some reserve wines, but tasting this wine and some of your other Vranec, I really get a sense of what Vranec is, like the pure taste of Vranec. Can you talk about the way that you make Vranec and maybe about your wine a little bit?
Usually, Vranec is a fruit-forward, full-bodied, jammy, with a statement wine.
Yeah.
But my intention, we talk about is, my intention was to have a wine that's it's well balanced, elegant enough, and is drinkable enough. And at the same time to have a complexity. That's why I'm always thinking that Vranec should be aged with the barrel. Just to gain this complexity, just to gain this as we said, the gaps to be fulfilled by the barrel. Not to be overoaked, to stays the fruitiness in the wine, but at the same time to have all the robust to be tamed. Because Vranec in the same time it's the name of the horse variety.
Yep.
And we always say you need to tame the Vranec, And when you say tame the Vranec, then immediately they say, oh, this is the full thing, and I need to, work around it. But when I say tempt, I need to tempt it in the winery, so the people that will drink this wine will feel the elegancy and will know that it will give you time to think about it and drink it. It will not fight forward. It will not strike you in your face, but it will just give you space to enjoy it.
Can you talk? Our interviews usually, our videos are quite short, but I wanted to ask you a real important question because Macedonian wineries we talked about are usually on a bigger scale. But your family's been making wine forever. You were making wine with your father, your grandfather when you were young. Can you talk about the importance of tradition and what winemaking actually means to you?
Unfortunately, in Macedonia, although there's really many families are doing making wine, homemade wine, but not many of them have decided or being brave enough to go in the market, because the market, unfortunately, here in Macedonia is more kind of a industrial type of wine forward. So I think that in my family, it was so easy to decide to get with the Vranec and move to the market, because My education, although was quite different from this, I took time in persuading myself and learning myself that this variety can be produced in such a small scale and still to have the quality even better than those industrial wine varieties. Boutique varieties, I think they can offer much more than industrial because the risk is lower. The industrial type of varieties, they give you, they need to move forward with because they commercialize, because of the advertising, because of huge money return. On the smaller scale, when you go, you can give yourself, space and to allow yourself to bring the best of the variety, and to bring the potential of the terroir of the place where the vineyards are. And at the end, when you drink Vranec from Bruśani Winery, you drink something that has been produced in the vineyard, mostly, And this is our intentions because 2010 from 2011, as you know, from 2012, 13, they are different wines, But they say they always have the same kind of a trademark, They always have this kind of a same sense, but they're different wines, at the end. And that's why maybe it's even more interesting for the consumers to try always what's next, what's new, It's not boring to try new wines, and expectations can be always high. But
do you feel like you're more connected to your traditions, your family, since you're carrying on the winemaking?
It brings emotions that has been here, but you haven't been. But they've been inside, not outside, And with this, and with the support from my family, you feel that it's playing around. It's giving you, the wine is giving you support. First of all, it's always. It hasn't been. It's always been bringing me something that I haven't been aware of, And it's really nice to know that there's something new always new in next year, And you're always looking for the harvest, and you're always looking for what's going to happen, Although you might be most of the time afraid what will happen, but it will bring you for sure enjoyment, because at the end, when you sit down, when you have a glass of wine, it doesn't matter how much money it will bring. It matters what's inside, in inside here, So this is all what's behind about this winemaking and about at the end boutique wineries, family wineries. It's not about the market. It's about the tradition. But it's about what somebody in the past, brought to you or delivered to you, to continue with the mission that's been for a while.
Well, thank you so much. It's also, I want to note that this has been a special afternoon because we actually brought a bottle of Shireen's favorite wine from Serbia here, and she was hoarding it. It was her last bottle, and we decided to share it because that's what traveling and that's what wine's all about, sharing things with people, giving new experiences, and just sharing the joy. So thank you so much, and I appreciate and I love your philosophy about boutique wineries. We feel the same way, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
If you come to Macedonia, Bruśani wines are not, there's not big time production, so they're going to only be available here. But you go to a lot of restaurants in Skopje. If you see a Bruśani wine on that list, make sure to order it. Seriously, trust me. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Exotic Wine Travel, and I'll see you at the next episode.